Hey guys, this is Sidra. Welcome to my YouTube channel Educate with Sidra. In this video, we are covering the chapter number 19 of O1 Chemistry, and the chapter number 19 is the periodic table of elements. So please don't forget to subscribe my channel and click on the bell icon. So let's start the video. Periodic table. Periodic table, it is a list of elements arranged in order of increasing atomic number, or we can say proton number. And periodic table is divided into two things, that is periods and groups. Period is basically the element show different properties. Elements show different properties, and the groups having the same chemical properties. Okay, we will discuss the periods and group in detail in the later slides. Okay. Periodicity. What is periodicity? It refers to the recurring trends that are seen in the elements' properties. Okay. Next is modern periodic table. Modern periodic table is basically based on the proposal of Mendeleev and Moseley, and the elements in the periodic table are arranged horizontally in order of increasing proton number. The first element is hydrogen, that is having the proton number 1 is hydrogen. The proton number 2 is helium in the periodic table, and so on. What information periodic table gives about element? So when guesses, it tells the name, atomic symbols, names of element, atomic symbols of element. It tells about the proton number and the relative atomic mass. Right? Next is group versus period. Okay, elements of the similar properties and configuration are placed in always the same group. Right? Like ninth element have the same properties like the first element. Okay? Like for example, Z is equal to, let's say if the proton number is Z equals to 1, that is for sodium and lithium, they both are in the same group, right? And Z equals to 3, they are in the same group. 9 elements have the same properties like the first element, like sodium and lithium are in the same group. Okay? Now the difference between the group and period. What is group? Group is basically vertical column of elements in the periodic table. In the periodic table, while the periods are basically the horizontal rows in the periodic table. Right? Groups basically, periodic table consists of 8 group. It's having 8 group, that is 1 to 7, or 0 group, so we can say 1 to 8 group, or the 8 element we can say the 0 group, right? And the periods are basically 1 to 7. There are 7 periods in the periodic table. The group basically run from top to bottom. And the periodic table run from, and the periods run from left to right in the periodic table. Okay. So basically groups are the vertical columns of element and periods are the horizontal rows. Groups are 8, periods are 7, and the groups run from top to bottom and the periods run from left to right in the periodic table. Now the significance of group. Significance of group, basically the position and the electronic configuration of the elements, right? The number of electron in the outermost shell of an atom of element is equal to its group number. The number of electron in the outer shell of an element is equal to its group number. Right? For example, hydrogen having the one outermost electron in their outermost shell. So it is in the first group. That is the group number 1, right? And lithium having the electronic configuration of 2 1. So one electron is in the outermost shell, so it is also in the first group. Now next is the all of the elements in a particular group have same number of electron in their outermost shell. All the elements in a particular group have the same number of electron in the outermost shell. For example, in group number 1, we are talking about the group number 1, lithium, sodium, potassium, they all have the same chemistry. They all lose only 1 electron from their outermost shell, so they are in the same group, right? Now, atoms of element in the same group have same number of valence electron. It follows the same chemistry. As I have already told, the lithium has the 1 electron in the outermost shell, and sodium are having the 1 electron in the outermost shell. They both in the same group. That is the group number 1. Example, we have already studied lithium, sodium, potassium. They are in the same group because they are having only 1 electron in their outermost shell. Lithium loses 1 electron and become iron, so it has only 1 electron to lose, like sodium and potassium. Now the significance of periods. Significance of period is basically the number of occupied shell of electron of an element is equal to its period. Like hydrogen and helium, they have they are in the period number 1, right? As having the 1 shell of electron. Metallic element occupy left center of the periodic table, while non-metals on the right side, except hydrogen. Some element region around the boundary have mixture of metallic and non-metallic properties. They are called the semi-metals, or we can say the metalloids. Example, silicon. Metallic character decreases. Metallic character decreases across the period, and the non-metallic character increases across the period. Except the period number 1, that is hydrogen and helium, they both are non-metals, right? So from left to right in a period, the metallic character, there is a decrease in the metallic character, right? And there is an increase in the non-metallic character. Across the period means we are going from left to right. Okay. Okay, now this is the periods and groups, right? You can see in the figure that the group are basically 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. The 8 group we can say the 0 group, right? There are 8 groups and the 7 periods, right? And this is basically the first group. Sodium, magnesium is in the second group, right? So these basically from the I told you this thing that in the left side of the periodic table the metallic character is here, and then the right side this is a non-metallic character. In the center these are the metalloids having the both properties of the metals and non-metals, right? And the nature of oxide, they form metal oxide. The metal oxide basically make the basic oxide and the amphoteric oxide, and the non-metals and metalloid basically make the acidic oxide, right? Do the metallic properties of element change down a group? Going down a group, there is increase in the metallic properties. Increase in the metallic properties, and going down a group, there is a decrease in the non-metallic properties when we are going down a group, right? And the reason is that because the size of the atom increases when we are going down a group. Means the valence electron is further away from the attractive forces of the nucleus, means easily lose valence electron, right? So easily lose valence electron. There will be the increase in the metallic properties when we are going down a group, and decrease in the non-metallic properties when we are going down a group, right? Now the electronic structure. We can obtain the electronic structure of an element from its proton number. right, from his proton number. From this, we can deduce the periodic table, period number and the group number of an element, right? So let's take an example. Look at the chart. Right, this is the beryllium. This is beryllium, this is magnesium, calcium, carbon, silicon, oxygen, right? Beryllium has a electronic configuration of 2, 2. So it's in the group number 2 because we are looking at the valence electron. And its period number, and it has 2 shells. That's why the period number is also 2, right? Now the magnesium, it has 2 valence electrons, so the group number will be 2. Calcium has 2 valence electron, the group number 2. Carbon has 4 valence electron, group number 4. Oxygen has 6 valence electron, group number 6. This the group number depend upon the outermost shell electron, right? And now the period number, because covering 3 shells, that is 2, 8, 2, 3 shells, so the period will be 3. It is covering 4 shells, the period number will be 4. Carbon is covering 2 shells, it is period number 2. Silicon is covering 3 shells, the period number is 3. Oxygen is covering 2 shells, the period number is 2. Sulfur is covering 3 shells, the period number is 3, right? And let's take another example like lithium. Lithium, okay, tell me what the electronic configuration of lithium is 2, 1. Now tell me the group number and the period number. Come on, guess it. What is the group number? Yes, it's 1 because it's the outermost shell electron is 1. And what is the period number? It is 2 because there are 2 shells, 2, 1, that is covering 2 shells. Okay, now the beryllium. Beryllium has the electronic configuration of 2, 2. So the group number will be the 2 and the period number will be the, how much? 2. Yes, period is also 2. Right, okay, tell me the neon. What about neon? Neon has a proton number of 10, that is proton number 10 means the electronic configuration of 2, 8, completed the octet. So what is the group number? Yes, 8, there is group number 8, or we can say the 0 group, right? Or we can say the 0 group. And what about the period? Yes, in the second period, period number 2, that is covering 2 shells, right? So this is all about electronic structure. Now trends when going down a group. What are the trends when going down a group? In any group of the periodic table, the following trends can be seen. As you go down a group, the proton number become bigger, the atom become bigger. As I already told you, the size of the atom increases, so the proton number increases. The properties of the element become more metallic. This is because on going down the group, element lose electron more easily, right? Now, how are elements in the same period similar in terms of their electronic structure? So, the number of electron shell is the same as the period number of the element, right? So this is basically the relation. The number of electron shell is basically equal to the period number of the element. And how are elements in the same group similar? How are elements in the same group similar in terms of their electronic structure? Yes, the number of valence electron will be equal to the group number of the element. Right, for example, group 1 have 1 valence electron, right? Group 4 have 4 valence electron, right? And so on. Elements with same number of valence electron have same chemical properties, means same group have same chemical properties, right? Now next is charge of ion. How are the type of ions formed by elements related to the group number? Let's take a chart. Group number 1, the type of positive ion, right? Because it loses electron, right? So it loses electron means plus 1 charge. The group 2, it means losing 2 electron. The losing 2 electron means +2. Group 3 is losing 3 electrons, so it is +3. Example for the group 1 is sodium, potassium. Group 2 example, magnesium, calcium. Group 3 example, aluminium. Group 4 and group 5 element tend to form covalent compounds like methane and PCl5, right? And now the non-metals basically gain electron. They are negative because they are they are gaining electrons, right? So 6 electron means it has to gain 2 electrons, so that will be -2. The 7 group has to gain 1 electron, that will be -1. So example for the group 6 is oxygen, sulfur, and group 7 example is fluoride, chloride, bromide, etc. What about the 8th group, that is a 0 group? Elements do not form compound because they have completed their outermost shell, that is duplet or octet, right? So there is no need to lose electron or gain electron, right? Now group 1 elements. This is the periodic table, and these are the group 1 elements. Look, this is group number 1. Lithium, sodium, potassium, rubidium, cesium, francium, right? They are called the alkali metals. Now the physical properties. They are soft and can be cut easily. They are having low melting point and boiling point, having low densities like sodium, potassium, and lithium, sodium, potassium can float on water. It means they have low densities. Light gray in color and form ionic compound which are white or colorless. How do the physical properties change going down a group? Going down a group, the melting point and boiling point decreases, and the density of the alkali metal increases, right? So there are two things: melting and boiling point decreases and density increases. You can see the chart. Lithium having the melting point of 180. As we are going down a group, sodium has a less melting point as compared to the lithium, that is 98. Potassium has less melting point as compared to sodium and lithium, that is 64, and so on. You can see the boiling point as well. Going down a group, boiling point decreases, and the density is increases when we are going down a group. Look, lithium has 0.53, while the sodium has greater density as compared to lithium, that is 0.97. So basically, from going down a group, density increases. You can see the chart. How can we use the periodic table to predict the properties of alkali metals? This is the chart. We see the melting point decreases down the group, right? So melting point, you can see here the melting point decreases down a group. So we can say this thing, we can predict the melting point of the next element. So if you have given a periodic table to predict the property, like for example, I gave you the chart and told you the melting point of lithium, that is 180, and guess what about sodium? If I give you the lithium and potassium melting point, and this one is missing, right? So you have to write between 180 and 64, right? The range between the 180 and 64. You can predict the property of sodium, the melting point of sodium, right? Okay. Now the chemical properties. Highly reactive metals, because they are very highly reactive metals. They are stored in oil to prevent them from reacting with air and water. Each alkali metal has one valence electron. By losing one electron, they achieve the noble gas configuration and form cations, right? They are losing one electron, right? As we are going down a group 1, size of an atom increases. Easy to lose electrons, so the reactivity increases down a group 1. So the order of reactivity will become lithium is less reactive than sodium, and sodium is less reactive than potassium, right? Or we can say that the potassium has more reactivity as compared to sodium and lithium, right? You can see the chart over here. Compounds of an alkali metal are ionic and they are soluble in water and have similar chemical formula. Like lithium carbonate is Li2O3, Li2CO3, and sodium is Na2CO3. If we are talking about the nitrate, that's LiNO3 and NaNO3. The formula you can see as having the similar chemical formula. Right? Now, alkali metal react with the cold water to form an alkali and hydrogen. Look at the table. We are taking the group 1 element, lithium, sodium, potassium. Lithium reacts quickly with water. Lithium floats on the water. No flame is seen. So this is the equation. Lithium react with water. So it becomes lithium hydroxide and hydrogen gas. Lithium hydroxide is basically an alkali. Sodium react very quickly. Sodium melts. The molten sodium then around the water surface, that's around the water surface, and a yellow flame is seen. So sodium react with water becomes sodium hydroxide and hydrogen. Sodium hydroxide is again an alkali. Potassium react violently. Potassium melts and a lilac flame is seen. And potassium react with water to form potassium hydroxide, that is an alkali and hydrogen gas. Group 1 trend, going down a group, what will happen? Melting and boiling point decreases, density normally increases except few, and reactivity increases if we are going down a group. Now group 7 elements are also called the halogens family, and they are basically the fluorine, chlorine, bromine, iodine, astatine. Look, this is the 7th group that is in the yellow, highlighted by the yellow color. Physical properties basically are non-metals. They are exist as diatomic covalent molecule, like diatomic molecule means F2, Cl2, Br2, I2, etc. They are having low melting point and low boiling point, and they are colored. You can see the chlorine, bromine, iodine. The melting point of chlorine is minus 101. That is very low melting point. You can see here. And having the appearance greenish yellow gas. Bromine is reddish brown liquid, and iodine is purple black solid. Right? So always remember the colors of the chlorine, bromine, iodine. They ask in exams also. Now the physical, how do the physical properties of halogen change going down a group? The melting and boiling point increases when we are going down a group 7. Color of, what about the color? Color of halogen become darker as we are going down a group. Astatine is basically a solid and having the melting point of 300 degrees centigrade. So melting point increases because it's the last element, and astatine is the black solid. Right, the color become darker and melting point increases as we are going down a group 7. So this is the astatine is basically black in color, black solid. So if I give you the melting point of the element before astatine, so you can expect the melting point of astatine from the table, right? If you know the trend. Chemical properties basically are reactive halogen, which will displace a more reactive halogen will displace a less reactive halogen from its halide solution. Now the chemical property, they are reactive non-metals because they are reactive non-metals because 7 valence electron, they can easily gain 1 electron to achieve the noble gas configuration and form the negative ion. Halogen react with most metal forming salts called halides, right? And halides are basically, we say F minus, Cl minus, that is fluoride, chloride, bromide, iodide, etc. Now the displacement reaction. Halogen basically undergo displacement reaction with halide solution. Displacement reaction is a reaction in which one element takes the place of another element in a compound. And halogens undergo the displacement reaction with halide solutions. Right, this is fluoride, chloride, bromide, iodide, astatite. Right. So a more reactive the halogen, the more reactive is fluorine. A more reactive halogen will displace the less reactive halogen from its halide solution. Right? Like fluorine can replace chlorine, but the chlorine cannot replace fluorine, right? Here is example. For example, when chlorine water is added to the aqueous solution, bromide, aqueous sodium bromide or potassium bromide or reddish brown solution is formed. Chlorine being more reactive than bromine displaces bromine from its bromide solution. Chlorine gas is a halogen and sodium bromide is a halide. Look, chlorine is displacing bromine because chlorine is more reactive than bromine. That's why chlorine is displacing bromide, that is halide, and is making sodium chloride solution, that is colorless, and bromine. Chlorine can also displace iodine, right? Because chlorine is more reactive than iodine, so it can displace iodine. And bromine can, and if you talk about the bromine can replace iodide solution or not? Yes, bromine can replace iodine because bromine is more reactive than iodine. So bromine Br2 plus 2Ki will become 2KBr, that is potassium bromide and iodine. Okay. And iodine can replace chlorine. If this is the reaction, I'm writing the equation. What will be the result? Reaction or no reaction? No reaction. Why? Because iodine is less reactive than chlorine, right? Iodine can replace bromide Br minus. Again, no reaction, right? So remember this thing. But bromine, if we taking about the bromine, like bromine can replace iodide solution? Yes, it can replace because bromine is more reactive than iodine. So the more reactive element will displace a less reactive halogen from its halide solution. So here we can say that chlorine is more reactive than bromine, is more reactive than iodine. So what happen when we are going, when we can reduce, when we are going down a group reactivity, when we are going down a group reactivity, what will happen to the reactivity? Reactivity decreases, right? And that's because the size of the atom increases and melting point and boiling point also increases and the color become darker. So these are the properties. And halogens are the powerful oxidizing agents as well. Okay, now the group number 0, that is noble gases. Right, they are helium, neon, argon, krypton, xenon, radon. The physical property, basically they are monoatomic elements and they are all colorless gases at room temperature. Low melting point and boiling point that increase on going down the group. They are insoluble in water and they are very unreactive. Why they are unreactive? Because except helium, helium has 2 valence electron while the other has having 8 valence electron. They are all having the complete outermost shell, right? Helium is completed its duplet while the others are completed their octet. They have fully filled outermost shell, so there is no need to lose electron, no need to gain electron, no need to share electron, right? So they are unreactive. Uses of noble gases, helium has basically where helium is used. Tell me. Yes, they are used for filling weather or advertisement balloons, right? Weather or advertisement balloons and airships as well. Basically, noble gas used to provide an inert atmosphere, and there are a few uses that as helium is using in filling weather balloons, and argon is used in filling tungsten bulb. It provides inert atmosphere that prevents the oxidation of the filament. Neon is used in making lights and advertisement signs as well. Xenon in vehicle headlamp. And argon also used in welding stainless steel and light bulbs as well, right? So these are the uses of noble gases. So look at the chart, see over here. This is the periodic table, and elements are arranged in order of increasing periodic table. They have periods, that is horizontal rows. They have groups that are vertical columns. Period, basically same period means same number of electron shell, and the period number is the same as the number of electron shell, right? In the left hand side there are metals, and in the right hand side there are non-metals. Metals example, group number 1, alkali metals, lithium, sodium, potassium, rubidium. And non-metals are group 7, that is halogens, fluoride, chloride, bromine, iodine, statine, etc. Lithium, sodium, potassium form positive ions, and reactivity increases down the group, while the fluoride, chloride, bromide, they respectively they form this thing, halides, and reactivity decreases down the group, and the more reactive halogen displaces the less reactive halogen from its halide solution. The group, basically same group means same number of valence electron, and the group number is the same as the valence electron. So group 0 is also known as group 8 element, right? Non-metals, basically I have already told you group 7 elements are non-metals, and group 8 element, that is the 0 elements, are also non-metals, like the noble gases, helium, neon, argon, etc. And they are monatomic gases, do not form ions or molecules, and they are unreactive. So this is all about periodic table. Now the transition element, this is the periodic table. This from here to here, this is the transition metals, basically. They are the block of metals found between group 2 and 3 of periodic table. They are also known as the transition metals. Like example are chromium, Cr, you can see here, chromium, manganese, right, iron, copper, etc. These are the example. Cobalt, nickel, they are the transition elements. The property, basically they have high melting point, high boiling point, and high densities, right? And the melting point and boiling point and the densities are higher than those in the group 1 and 2 element, right? And variable oxidation state, variable oxidation state means that the group 1 form ion. If we are talking about the group 1 form ion oxidation state of +1, and so they are unlike group 1 and 2 element because they are transition elements, so they have a variable oxidation state. For example, if you are talking about the CrCl3, chromium chloride, right? So oxidation state will be 3, that is the chromium having the oxidation state of +3, right? If you are talking about iron is FeCl2, iron also form FeCl3. So here the iron having the oxidation state of +2, and here FeCl3, the oxidation state of iron is +3, right? If you are talking about the copper, Cu2O, the copper having the oxidation state here in CO2O is +1, and if CuSO4 copper sulfate, the copper has the oxidation state of +2, right? So this is all about. If we are talking about iron, FeO and Fe2O3, so you can see here in FeO the oxidation state of iron is +2, and in Fe2O3 the oxidation state of iron is +3. So they have variable oxidation state, and unlike it's not like the group 1 and group 2 elements, because the group 1 element having only the oxidation state of +1, right? But in the transition element, the oxidation state is variable, right? And they form colored compounds, right? Because they are having the variation in the oxidation state, right? So aqueous iron 3 chloride. Iron 3 chloride is yellow in color, while iron 2 chloride solution is green in color, right? So form colored compound as well. Colors can vary according to their oxidation state, right? So the compounds of transition metals, because of their color compounds, are used in dyes, pigments, paints, and stained glass to produce different color, right? They are the transition metals, and their compound are very good catalysts. What is catalyst? Catalyst is basically they increase the state of speed of reaction and remain chemically unchanged at the end of the reaction, right? So they are the transition metal and their compound are very good catalysts. For example, iron. The iron is used as a catalyst in Haber process. Haber process is used for the manufacturing of ammonia, that is NH3. So their iron is used as a catalyst, right? So this is all about the transition element. I hope you understand all the topics. I hope you like my video. Thank you for watching my video. Please subscribe my channel, like the video and comment.